Hi kiddos, Rise here, the man married to Beyonce, the famous player. I'm here with another hit video for you. This time, it's an energizing subject, how ATP is made. It's quite the process, so let's jump into it.
It's called glycolysis.
ATP stands for Association of Tennis Professionals, as well as adenosine triphosphate. It's the chemical storage for energy for your body.
The process to create ATP starts with glycolysis. Glycolysis starts with one glucose molecule. Glucose is C6H12O6, PQRSTUV. Now I know glucose molecularly.
Glycolysis happens in the cytoplasm of a cell. That's the cold outside world.
Glucose is split into two smaller molecules called pyruvates. This process uses 2 ATP to split the glucose. One of the P's in the ATP attaches to either side of the glucose molecule.
Smells kinda strange.
This is human urine.
The phosphates then rip it apart, thus creating 2 pyruvates, which are 3 carbons big.
The ATP, now having lost one of its P's, now only has a PP.
During the process, these rad molecules called NAD pluses undergo a change as well.
Yo, I'm a rad diggity dog, and I'm gonna steal your H's. In order to get rid of the hydrogens, NAD plus bonds with them to become NADH.
Another phosphate attaches to these pyruvates and drags them along the road. Another set of NADHs are made. At the end of the road, each pyruvate ends up with 2 phosphates each. These phosphates detach and regroup to make 2 ATP.
At the end of the process of glycolysis, 2 ATP are made, 4 NADH are made, and 2 pyruvates are made for each glucose.
The next stage in carcinogenesis is the link reaction, not the Zelda reaction.
Pyruvates need to enter into the mitochondria. Unfortunately, like many Americans, or most Mississippians, it's too large to get through the opening in the membrane.
In order to get through, it goes through a process called Jenny-Krebs, where it loses that extra carbon. During this phase, an NAD+ goes and removes hydrogens off the pyruvate to help slim it down. Furthermore, CO2 is also released to slim down the pyruvate.
Now the pyruvate is just 2 carbons big. This is called acyl group. Oops, nope, an acetyl group. They bond, making an acetyl-CoA. This molecule, now small enough, then enters into the mitochondrial matrix. Congratulations, you've chosen the blue pill. Welcome to the matrix. The next step in the journey for making ATP is the Krebs cycle. And no, I'm not talking about the destructive cycle caused by sexually transmitted parasites. I'm talking about how even more ATP is made.
This is a mitochondrion. Let's explore more so we can get a sense of what we're all learning about. This is the outer membrane. This is the inner membrane. This is the intergalactic space between the membranes. This is the matrix. These folds of the inner membrane are called cristae. They increase the amount of surface area available. This is similar to how old people have wrinkly skin in comparison to ours.
Once the acetyl-CoA group is inside the matrix, the CoA enzyme dumps the acetyl group. The acetyl group, now distressed, begins to stress eat. Soon enough, it regains all that weight and becomes a C6 glucose again.
But now, having had a successful audition for the newest season of Biggest Loser, it starts the cycle all over, to lose it again. Through the cycle, it loses a carbon through carbon dioxide release. It loses hydrogens from NAD plus to NADH. This happens a lot of times. Adenine diphosphate also gains an extra P, creating ATPs. Molecules called FADHs are also formed. In the end, 2 ATP, 6 NADH, 2 FADH2 are formed. The remaining carbon is in the form of C4. These C4s are reused in the cycle when new acetyl groups enter into the matrix. Good job!
Fact: the Krebs cycle is an inside job. Fact: Jeff Bridges is actually not a bridge. Fact: Samuel L. Jackson was uncredited for the role of Morpheus in the Matrix trilogy. Fact: Hillary hasn't gotten over Bill's scandal. Fact: Bill doesn't care. Fact: Tyson Gilmore doesn't go by his last name. His middle name is actually Gilmore. His last name is Girls. Fact. According to LinkedIn, a variable source of 100% true facts, Gilmore is an African American. Fact. He isn't. Question. Where is his birth certificate? Open your eyes, America. Gilmore is playing us all for a fool.
Now you have more ATP. The next step is chemiosmosis, and I don't know anything else about it. Good thing the internet does. Here's what she said about it.
Chemiosmosis and electron transfer happens on the surface of the inner membrane. The criss-cristy of the membrane help facilitate more transfers in osmosis.
NADH and FADH2 bring high-energy electrons and H+ from the previous stages. High-energy electrons provide energy for the proton pump to pump protons out to the outer compartment. A higher concentration builds in the outer compartment. The protons can then diffuse back into the lower compartment. Passage of the protons through the enzyme ATP synthase provides energy to create ATP. After all of this, you get 32 more ATP.
Well done, young Sprite Can. You've successfully learned how glycolysis works. You're ready for some athletic activities approved by Michelle Obama and her incredibly powerful arms. I hope you've learned as much in this short video as I have in the past 6 hours about energy production. Bring on the test, Mr. Gilmore, if that is your real name. Join us next time when we put the science in Scientology.